Hello and welcome to All About Community. My name is Robert L. Harris and I am your host. Have you wondered, really thought about some of the things that's going on today, especially with the Haitians? Can you imagine what is happening to them? What's going on with the Haitians is that there has been political upheaval in that nation. The prime minister was murdered. There was a huge earthquake. When those Haitians tried to come to the United States, guess what? Many of them were unilaterally turned back, while plane loads of people from elsewhere who did not look like Haitians were brought into this nation. Why that difference? The Haitians, as you will recall, they were rounded up in the river with border patrols on horses with whips. Does that remind you of something? I better get off of this because it may be a little bit too controversial and may get somebody in trouble, but not me. Today we're going to be talking about something that is different, and that is the Peralta Community College District. And I have as my guest, Kevin Jenkins. Kevin, welcome to All About Community.
Thank you for having me, Mr. Harris. I do appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate you being here. You're a young man. Let's talk about, for a moment, your background, where you grew up, your education. How did you end up where you are? Give us a little bit about your background. Where were you born?
I was born in Berkeley, California.
In big old Berkeley, all right.
I was born in Berkeley, California. Grew up in Oakland.
Okay.
I grew up in income-based housing, right? So, which is considered.
What's income-based housing?
Which is considered projects. It's a nice,
projects. Just said projects.
It's not a nice way of saying projects.
I grew up in rural, segregated Arkansas.
Absolutely.
As a matter of fact, I was so far back in the country, they had to pump air into me.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That far back.
Just that back, way back.
Yeah. I grew up in income-based projects. Went to school at St. Mary's in Oakland Senior High School. After that, I went to San Francisco.
St. Mary's is a good school.
Oh, it's a wonderful school.
Because my two youngest children went to St. Mary's.
Oh, it's a wonderful school.
Absolutely.
I went to community college for a while, trying to find my way.
Which campus?
I went to mainly College of Alameda and a little bit at Laney. And that's what's good about the Peralta system. You can go
well,
in
I
between
went
campuses.
to Merritt College.
Oh, yeah, that's a home
Class
of
of
activists.
1963. It wasn't called Merritt College then. It was called Oakland City College.
You guys got into some good trouble there.
Oh, some great trouble.
Yeah. So went there. Then I went to San Francisco State University.
I mean, come on. This is unreal. I graduated from San Francisco State.
Oh, yeah. Wonderful school.
Absolutely, a great school.
Yeah. Earned my degree in urban studies and planning.
Well, I earned my degree in criminology, sociology.
Okay. Subsequent to that, I went to Cal State East Bay for my master's in public administration.
I started working on my master's in public administration.
You got to be kidding now.
This is so weird. Mm-hmm. And that was before I went to law school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So wonderful program, learned great things, and I've been able to apply those things to the Peralta trustee job.
Now let's talk a little bit about how did you develop an interest in politics? That's what it is. College board is political, no matter how you look at it.
Yeah. So when I was going to Laney, I had a teacher, Tony Cook.
I know Tony,
yeah,
old friend of mine.
Former board member, and she was trying to get us registered to vote. I said, I don't want to register to vote because then jury duty, they're going to start hassling me for jury duty and stuff like that. So she drug us, made us register to vote. And she tried to get us some internships with Barbara Lee. I couldn't tell you who Barbara Lee was then. She said, well, email Sandra Swanson. I didn't know who Sandra Swanson was. Put a resume together. Didn't want to do it. But every day she would come in and talk about what was going on in the world. I don't remember what the class was about, but she just talked about current events, and then it started sticking and sticking and sticking. Subsequent to that, the election of Barack Obama
Oh, yes.
played a major impact in my interest in politics. That's when I started watching cable news and seeing what was going on and seeing how important being at the table was. Then after that, I worked for Supervisor Keith Carson in Alameda County. And
How long did you work for Keith?
I worked for Keith for 3 years. And I'll never forget, this is before we had the boom in unsheltered residents. I had a woman call and said, hey, I need your help finding a house. I'm a senior, and if you don't help me, I'm gonna kill myself. And she said she would die with dignity before she died as a homeless senior. And that had a profound effect on what I wanted to do. I realized that the decisions that people make around these tables is sometimes life and death. And so that's what made me want to have a seat at the table. We were able to find the woman housing, but if you look at the current condition that our city is in, the West Coast is, there are tons of homeless seniors, many homeless seniors, and being at the table allows for my community to have a voice.
Being at the table is so important. And you mentioned earlier Barbara Lee, Congresswoman Barbara Lee. I proudly chair the Finance Committee for Congresswoman Barbara Lee, who is just absolutely off the chart in so many issues. So I'm so happy you were introduced to Congresswoman Barbara Lee. We have to go to break, so don't touch that remote. Matter of fact, just put it down, put it down. We will be right back with All About Community. Again, my name is Robert L. Harris. I am your host, and I'm talking with Kevin Jenkins, who is a member of the Board of Trustees of the Peralta College District right here in Oakland area.